This morning, we can play a game of where does the water flow? So, up the top here, finger out the way, you'll see there's some granite. So, the water is basically going to completely run off the granite and it's coming down onto this road. Roads are generally a lot more compacted than the earth around them. So, they both have a lot more runoff and they stop subsurface flow as well. On this road, you can see on the right side here, it's a little bit darker. There's a little bit of an indent there. So you can see as the track follows. I'm going to turn around and follow this down the hill. So if we keep going on this side, you can see that it's a depositing of sandy material. It's actually decomposed granite because we're on the Yilgarn Plateau here. A very ancient landscape. So I keep following. The water's coming down this side of the road. I was hoping more last night, but not too much. But anyway, I can still play this game. Let's see what happens here. So it's coming down the road. It's going to be sheeting off the edge here. But what we can see, what happens is the fire break comes in from the right there. That's also coming down an incline. And so around this point, you get the runoff from both the fire break and the road meeting, and you'll see that the channel on this side is a lot more incised. So we're following it. Gets a lot more exciting in a second, I think. Again, you can see here the deposition of sand as the water has slowed down after picking up velocity at that corner. Here's a little interesting point to look at. So, going to be in the way. Hopefully you guys can see it on the video, but there's a little trickle that's coming across the road. If we trace that back up, it is coming from a sheep track. So on this property, there is a small flock, but even that's enough to have an impact on the land. Not so much when it's a small flock of 20, but because as they walk, they compact and reduce the amount of vegetation to the point that often it's just a sandy track. It starts to create its own channels of where the water goes. And if this was amplified, it'd end up turning into a small erosion gully. So you can imagine if this was land that didn't have the focus of being regenerated and had a larger flock of sheep, what would happen? Anyway, here we are. So the water at this point, I'm guessing that in heavy rain, some of it starts to sheet off the side here, but it also comes around here as well. And is another road. This is coming down the hill here. And so effectively, we've got this meeting point of a bit of runoff, heading off this granite outcrop to what is intended to be the first pond in the Sacha Boodja water project. So it's quite interesting because it doesn't look like much. Like normally you'd look for where is water coming down in a narrow section, so it's easier to create a dam and hold the water back and slow it down, filtrate it, and hopefully create water bodies for biodiversity and people. In this area, though, you see it's really quite flat. What we've found is that it's actually quite deep in the middle here in terms of how far you can dig down. And this area, there's a lot of flow going on and holding of water already underneath the ground. So although there's not a surface flow, a lot of water does move through here. And of course we see this granite on the other side, which is meaning that as the water's coming down, it's not able to continue flowing straight downhill. So it is held up here naturally. So what we're intending to do is build a shallow dam wall across this section here. Keeps my finger. So that this water can be both slowed down even further, but also can be used for the humans. So there's a water challenge on this pond, and the water can be recycled onto the land and beyond. So that's a little example of the flow that we're aiming to hold a little bit more on the Sacha Boodja Water Project.